The 10 highest paid players at Manchester United after Mbeumo and Kuna arrived. Manchester United is known as a club that's always willing to pay its players big bucks, so it's no surprise they're still among the clubs with the biggest payrolls in England. With Bryan Mbeumo and Matthias Kuna joining this summer, the list of top earners at Old Trafford has changed again. Both of them are now competing with the older players for the highest salaries. The club management is reportedly going to review things so that the wage bill doesn't get too heavy, but keeping star players is still the team's top priority. Some senior players have been at the top of the highest earners list for a long time. Meanwhile, some new names have jumped right up there thanks to the contracts they signed. Who are the Manchester United players with the biggest salaries in Ruben Amorim's squad this season? Here's the top 10 list that's getting the most attention. And Noussair Mazraoui. Mazraoui officially left Bayern Munich and joined Manchester United last summer. He signed a 4-year contract with a salary of £135,000, about ARP2, 95 billion, per week. Since he arrived, the Moroccan player has been consistently good in many positions. He can play on the right, left, center back and even wing back depending on what the team needs. Ruben Amorim is very happy with Mazraoui's contribution, calling him modern and versatile. 9. Luke Shaw. Shaw has been at Manchester United since moving from Southampton in the summer of 2014. The 29-year-old left-back is now getting ready for his 12th season with the club. His base salary is £150,000 per week, about ARP3, 28 billion, with performance bonuses that can add up to £50,000 per week. This amount matches his important role in the first team. Sadly, Shaw's career at United hasn't always been smooth because of a lot of injury problems. 8. Bryan Mbeumo. Bryan Mbeumo became one of the most dangerous attackers in the Premier League after scoring 20 goals and providing 8 assists for Brentford last season. That performance made many big clubs want him. Arsenal, Tottenham and Newcastle tried to sign him, but Manchester United was able to get his signature. The Red Devils paid £65 million, ARP 142 trillion, plus an additional £6 million, ARP 131.2 billion, in the transfer deal. 7. Matthias Kuna. Manchester United was active in the transfer market again, bringing in Matthias Cunha at the same time as Bryan Mbeumo. Cunha immediately signed a long-term 5-year contract at Old Trafford. The Brazilian international now earns a base salary of £180,000, about ARP3, 93 billion per week. With performance bonuses, his earnings could reach £200,000, about ARP4, 37 billion per week. 6. Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire officially joined Manchester United from Leicester City in the summer of 2019 for a transfer fee of £80 million. He also got a big pay raise from £90,000, ARP1, 96 billion, to double that amount per week. After a dip in performance in the 2021-22 season, Maguire has found his best form again. He is now an important part of the 3 at the back formation that Ruben Amorim uses at United. 5. Matthijs de Ligt. Matthijs de Ligt followed Noussair Mazraoui's path by leaving Bayern Munich in the summer of 2024 to join Manchester United. That move meant he had to agree to a pay cut. At Bayern, de Ligt was earning £261,000, about RP 570 billion per week. Now at Old Trafford, the 25-year-old defender only gets £195,000, about RP 426 billion per week. 4. Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho was brought to Manchester United from Borussia Dortmund in 2021 for a transfer fee of £73 million. The 25-year-old player was signed for 5 years with a base salary of £250,000, about RP5, 46 billion per week, plus performance bonuses up to £100,000, about RP2, 18 billion. However, Sancho's performance hasn't matched the big investment United made. In 83 games, he only managed to score 12 goals and provide 6 assists before being loaned back to Dortmund, then to Chelsea with a mandatory purchase option worth £20 million. 3. Mason Mount. Mason Mount receives a base salary of £250,000, about RP5, 46 billion per week since moving from Chelsea to Manchester United in the summer of 2023. Performance bonuses can also push his earnings up to £300,000, about ARP6, 56 billion per week. However, his contribution on the field hasn't met expectations. Long-term injuries have limited Mount to just 13 starts in the Premier League over the last 2 seasons. 2. Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes immediately became a key player for Manchester United after being signed from Sporting CP in January 2020. This Portuguese player is known as one of the most productive midfielders in the Premier League. Financially, Fernandes is also at the top. He earns £300,000, about £656 billion per week, and can still get an additional £75,000, about £164 billion per week through performance bonuses in his contract. 1. Casemiro. Manchester United brought in Casemiro from Real Madrid in 2022 after failing to sign Frenkie de Jong. They spent £60 million, about £1.31 trillion, plus an additional £10 million, about £218 billion, in add-ons to secure his signature. The Brazilian player signed a 4-year contract with a base salary of £350,000, about £765 billion per week. This amount can increase by £100,000, about £218 billion per week through performance bonuses.